All right, let's get through the usual intro. I'm a sucker for found footage films. And I say sucker because quite a few are pretty bad. However, there's been a substantial, significant number of them that are actually good to even great. So, you know, you got to sit through it to figure it out and find out. This one I'm going to look at is very, very cheap and small budget. It's just barely an hour. But that in and of itself has a certain charm to it that these were young filmmakers, I assume, that tried. I didn't really look into the names of the people involved. It might be whoever was behind it is one of the main characters in it. But it's essentially these two boys who are perhaps college age, who have this project, and they're film students, and they're supposed to do a film. I think maybe it was supposed to be based about a book or an object. Now I'm forgetting that part, but ultimately they decided they would base their film on the inspiration of a specific book. So, well, okay, so they go to the library. So they're going to document all this. And, of course, they could make use of that as the film. So, you know, if this satisfies the homework assignment, then so be it. So, already you have the parameters of, does it make sense that they film this? Does it make sense that they keep the camera rolling? For the most part, yes. Yes, it does. So they go into the library and they're looking at this and that. Nothing really jumps out at them. And then they come upon this strange looking book. And probably wasn't officially, like the librarians ordered it and put it on the shelf. It's this weird looking book that have scribbles in it, some drawings and whatnot. The cover is scratched up. It's got these creepy looking symbols in it and everything. But it does refer to a specific building that actually exists. Looks like some abandoned factory building of some sort. And, well, they're all intrigued by this, and they go, you know what? This is our film. This is what we'll do. We'll look into what this book is about, what it suggests, and we're going to go to this place. And so there you go. Well, already you can pretty much figure out what's going to happen. It's a big mistake to pick up that book and be intrigued and drawn in by it. So it's obviously allured by dark forces, and maybe it magically appeared in the library. Who knows? But nevertheless, that's what they did. Some of the little drawings kind of foretells what they're going to encounter. And so the rest of it is, well, they're filming there. It's at night, of course, and they're walking through. And most of them, they're just on the property filming it. And then they decide, well, we could just go into the building. There's no one around and all this sort of stuff. And so they decide to do that. And at some point, there's already a tease. All is not what it seems. And so, of course, the building's haunted. I mean, now it could have been something, but I mean, it would be too far-fetched if it wasn't a haunting. Like someone put the book there and lured them out there to kill them and this sort of thing. That it was all very, it was just some weirdo who was looking for victims or something like that. So the only way this works is because who knew other than classmates? I suppose you could orchestrate that, that kind of thing. That decided for whatever reason they were going to kill these guys. But nevertheless, instead, no, this is some supernatural thing that has no explanation whatsoever. And I suppose this might be something, these are, amateur filmmakers and whatnot. It does look it, but I mean, it's found footage, so it's kind of, how do you tell that they're amateurs? But it might be something if they wanted to revisit it if they had more money and whatnot, to expand the story as to what the building's about and the book itself and all that. But the concept and premise and keeping it mysterious and eerie is enough unto itself to kind of make it a satisfying narrative to a point. Despite the good thing about it, it is short because they couldn't have gone not even 90 minutes, I don't think. Because, they're walking around the building, they're going through junk and stuff, and there's, hey, what was that? I don't know. And this kind of thing. And then eventually weird noises, and then something's not right, and then other things, scary stuff, and then, the big reveal of what's actually in there, and this sort of thing, which I will not spoil for 13. I mean, that's what it's called. I mean, and that's about it. And then it ends. And what happened to them? Did they survive? It doesn't. Probably not. I wouldn't think so. That's usually the fate for these. And it's the obvious. Yeah, don't go in the building, especially at night. Just don't do it. But they did. And then the closing credits give some revealing imagery of stuff you might have missed while you were watching it and that kind of thing. Or was it added in post? Probably. I don't know. I didn't really look into it. But from what it was, it's this cheap little attempt at a found footage movie, and compared to some others that had more money, had more stuff to work with and everything, and just squandered it all and was really stupid, this one it thrives on its simplicity, and keeps to that. Is like, well, there's something weird about this, and just some of the silent moments. And that's one of the things about found footage. A lot of them, they'll put music in it. Well, you failed. You can't do that. You can't do it unless someone's listening to their music and you got it playing out loud. But that doesn't quite work. Noises and stuff that almost are akin to music, you can kind of use and stuff like that. But other than that, you really can't. So just for the premise of it, there is the intrigue. They have their project, and this mysterious book shows up. And revisiting it and, fleshing it out a bit with a little more money, you could almost do a series about the mysterious book if you wanted to. There's not enough here, but then that leaves the ground open for developing that. Anything is possible for what this was all about. And just who was that in there? and that sort of thing. What is in there? That kind of thing. And so there you go. It's on Tubi. You can check that out. 13. It's the Roman numeral 13, in case you didn't catch on to that just yet. So you look that up. And it's quick. So, but, it's not all that. But I can't, I expected it. I don't know. I'll sit through. It's short. It's probably, but all right. There's a couple of things. Kind of works. It's not totally successful in its execution, but they made more an effort than some others that had way more going for them. So, I can give it that. Because they did make an effort with very little to work with. So there is that. For 13.